Hey there, Photo One students. I just thought I would set up a little video here that once more demonstrates the process by which you would save your finished edits as JPEG images at the correct resolution for Tumblr or the web. And then a couple of details about the information and method that I'd like you to post them on your Tumblr site with the Visual Artist theme installed. I've gotten a few emails from various folks with some confusion about that, and I've also seen some errors in regard to how you're posting them. So anyway, let's get right to it. Here's an image of Ed. I've gone through in Adobe Camera Raw and done the various edits that I'd like to of it. So I'm going to open the image now. So I'm going from Adobe Camera Raw here into Photoshop, and at this point I'm not going to do any more heavy editing because, as you've seen me demonstrate and mention, you can do most of what you need to do in Adobe Camera Raw. Photoshop is more designed for heavy manipulation, and we'll get to that later in the semester. But from this point I'm going to resize the image. So if I go over here to image and image size, this image is pretty large, 3,456 by 2,765 pixels. I'm going to resize it, scaling it down so that the long side, so in this case the width, is 2,048 pixels. Okay, so to do that I have to have this resample button enabled, and I'm going to choose bicubic smoother, and it describes that it's for enlargement. I actually have just reduced the size, right? But I like bicubic smoother via the method that I do things, so I'm going to leave it there. This point here, resolution 300, doesn't actually matter. What we're most concerned with is the total number of pixels. So really all you want to do is click resample image and then put 2048 in the longest side that you have. So hit OK. You can see the image has shrunk down a little bit. If I want to see it at its screen resolution, I can double click on the zoom button and you can see 2048 pixels is actually quite large. Any final sharpening should be applied to the image at the very end of having rescaled it. So this image is pretty darn sharp, but if I wanted to sharpen it a little bit more, crisp it up for the web, I would go over here to filter, sharpen. Probably smart sharpen is a nice option. I'm at 200% here, radius of 0.8, and I don't want to reduce any noise, so I can hit the preview button on and off here. This is a little over sharp for me, but I'm just going to go with it so that you can again see my process. Okay, so let's call that good. From here I want to save it as a JPEG, so the best way to do that is to go to File, Export, Save for Web, Legacy. Okay. From here, the nice thing about this interface, we're going to save it as a JPEG, and here we should get ourselves to an area that is critical, the eye. And what we can do here is change the amount of compression from low, medium, high, very high, etc. There's also a percentage slider here that will update those values. So very high is quality of 80, and what I can see here is the in the upper left, this is with no compression. This is at 80 quality, which I've selected, and then here's 30 and 15. You can see also the size of the file is updated there. So as long as I'm under 1 megabyte, I'm probably pretty good. If you reduce the quality significantly, you'll see the image start to get really pixelated. The size gets quite small, but you wouldn't want to reduce the quality that much and lose resolution in your image. So that looks good to me, a quality of 80 or very high. Now I'm going to hit save, and then I'll send it somewhere. Let me see, I'm just going to send it to my desktop. The title there is Ed Image 01 JPEG. I'm I'm going to change the name to Ed so I can find it more easily. Save. Okay, so there, I'm good to go. Oh, I should also have mentioned to you, many of you are doing this, but I want to remind you, when you post to Tumblr, I'd like you to include your metadata over here for shutter speed, f-stop, and ISO. The focal length is also there, but not too critical actually. So you'll see here as I move over to Word, what I've done is I start a Word document with metadata. The assignment is portraits. This is the first image I'm turning in. ISO is 100, f-stop is 10, shutter speed was 1/125th, and then I would include any notes. Ed performing his best politician, maybe in the studio. So this is where I am collecting the metadata and also some notes that I think might be interesting for my faculty person. Okay, so I'm going to copy this stuff, Command C, and now when I jump over here to my Tumblr blog to post a photo, you should be pretty used to this, but I'm going to upload a photo. Let me find it here. There's Ed. Choose. And right here with the caption, I'm going to paste Command V this information. This is the assignment is portraits. This is image number 1 that I'm turning in. This is the metadata, and here are some notes. Okay, and from there I would just hit post, and up it would go. Some of you, so here are some things I want to be clear about. Some of you are not including this detailed information, so please do that. Some of you have put all of your images up as one post. I'd like each image to be posted individually. I know that sounds a little bit tedious, but if you go through that process, it'll be easier for me to view your images, comment on them with video feedback, etc. So hopefully that clarifies some things. I'm going to next make my first response to your first initial assignments, and I'll also comment on some of these issues that I'd like you to correct. Okay, thanks for tuning in.